James Gunn's Superman film releases next month. By the time of this video, it's about 19 days for the Amazon early screenings, which is honestly so crazy to say because these past 6 months, really 2 years since this movie was announced, have felt like such a long time. But we are finally almost there. And over the past few weeks, we've seen so much more of David Cornsweet's Superman, and man, this guy just looks like Superman brought to life from the comic books. I myself ask, where did James Gunn find this guy? It's like they cloned Christopher Reeve or something. And saying that is so funny because they both share a lot of similarities. They both went to the Juilliard School of Acting. They're both 6'4". Both are pilots and play the piano. And they just both have this like aura that radiates kindness. And personally, I never had heard of David as an actor prior to him being cast as Superman. I was only somewhat familiar with his name because he was a popular fan cast all over social media, but personally, I hadn't seen any of his work up to that point. The first thing I actually saw David in was in Twisters last year. And that is so funny because he played this douchey guy. Anybody who's seen the film can attest to this. So that was such a hilarious first impression for me. But I just can't get over how good he looks as Superman. I know I keep saying that, but it's just so uncanny. And like everybody else, I was very ecstatic when Henry Cavill was announced he was back as Superman because I think he was a good casting and character with subpar writing. I don't think the writing really did him justice. And to follow up with that, of course, I was also disappointed when he said he was not announced as Superman, but I was not mad. I was never upset with that because I knew and I trusted James Gunn to pull someone out of his pocket who can fit the role perfectly and carry on that legacy forward. Because if you look at all the roles in James Gunn's comic book movies from the Guardians to the Suicide Squad, he just casts so well. And that's what he did here as well. He had a home run casting David, and to me, all David needed to do when he was casted was just hit the weight room, and well, safe to say he did just that. And one example that stuck out with me with David that made me certain he was perfect was when James Gunn a few months ago said that David himself was the reason that he went with trunks on the Superman suit a while back. David claimed that he wanted the trunks in order to come off as less intimidating to children, which to me personally makes perfect sense. Because who wouldn't be scared of this super powered alien? But whether you like it or not, whether you like the bright blue with the underwear on the outside, that paired with the smiling, the kind hero who saves people does limit that intimidation towards people. You see this guy with a spandex and underwear on the outside, he just becomes a lot less scary. And it's not like Superman needs to put fear into criminals like Batman. He is Superman. Criminals already know what he has to offer. And just in general, everything that he said about the character in interviews has just struck home with me. My favorite thing he personally has said about Superman was when he was preparing for the role when it came to the physicality of it. And he said, and I quote, I think Superman has a certain solemn loneliness to him, where he so desperately wants to be connected to humanity, and he'll never quite be one of them. So I found a little piece of that early on. And that's just to me, that is just so Superman. That's just one thing that stuck out to me, and he said so much more about this character that resonates so well with me, and even as a person, obviously everyone knows the backlash he's been given by certain people on the internet, and his response to that, and I quote, "I like to grow and improve myself with criticism," Corenswet shared when asked about handling feedback. "I don't take it personally, quite the opposite. It's a learning experience." And that is just such a Superman response. I just don't know how you can't just nerd out based off that response alone. But to talk about his actual appearance in the movie, I gotta say my favorite part about his Superman is the way that Clark Kent, the reporter, Superman, the symbol, and Clark, the farm boy, all look distinctly different from one another. And it's insane. The detail they put into all of these is wild. The reporter Clark Kent obviously has the messy hairstyle with clumsy mannerism. He has the glasses and this kind of weak posture, Well, Superman obviously comes off as more confident, the hair is completely different, and his voice deepens. And Clark, the farm boy back in Kansas, has more facial hair. He has his classic flannel, and he just seems a lot more comfortable. And it's just this attention to detail that makes the nerd in me rejoice, and I love it. And when it comes to David's suit, I've always been a fan of the suit since day one, but it's grown so much more on me. And I feel like James Gunn likes to troll. I feel like he likes to lower expectations and then close to the release of his movies. He just kind of like sits up in the chair and begins to start showing off. So with everything that we've seen recently, I've just fallen in love with the suit. Everything that we've seen recently looks so much better than that first look in the apartment scene. I know everybody's saying that and it doesn't matter anymore, but that's just true. And when it comes to the suit, I know everybody hates the lines, but me personally, I don't mind them. I don't mind them because they don't go directly through his core or the chest. The Kingdom Come logo on the suit is just gorgeous. Paired with the bright blue, red, and yellow, it's just it comes off so well and I love it. And don't even get me started on the yellow symbol on the cape because it's just so beautiful. And the collar is also one of these details on the suit that's really grown on me. And you can kind of tell it's like this worksman suit, this just like heavy duty just hero suit, and it's James trying to make it this unique and just special, something that we've never seen before, and I love that. And the way it fits David is just so nice because personally, I never understood why Superman needs to have this bodybuilder physique other than just for aesthetic purposes. I am just a big fan of how David went for a more farm boy build because that's what Clark is. He is a farm boy from Kansas. And in a Rolling Stone interview James Gunn just gave this week, he talked about he kind of de-power scaled Superman in a way in this version to the point where he can be beaten and lose. And I feel like that's the right way to approach Superman in a film format. Comics go all out. Go all out. Go Silver Age, have him lateral raise solar systems, but for movies, what's the point of making it just OP? He can just win every fight. He can punch his way through all of it. It makes for a very boring trope for many people. And this paired with or this weakness of Superman a lot compared to other Superman, paired with David's vulnerability that he's bringing to the character emotionally, just makes me feel like he was perfect for this role. And he's going to prove that in July. And he just seems to like bring this lovable and humanly personality to Superman that I have not seen in a while. And I have zero doubt that he's going to be basically the most iconic Superman other than maybe Christopher Reeve, just because he's going to get this whole universe to back him up with proper leadership and a proper direction. And I know we're gonna get a Superman 2. We're probably gonna get World's Finest as well. So he's probably gonna have a new suit. So I just can't wait to see what's in store for David Cornsweet's Superman. I am so glad that so many children in this next generation will grow up with a proper, a colorful, a optimistic, and hopeful Superman. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm so happy that we're so close to Superman. It's felt so long, and I'm not even just looking at the calendar anymore. I'm just kind of ducking and letting the days pass. But that's all I got to say. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. And as always, stay safe. So, James Gunn's Superman film releases next month. By the time of this video,